Welcome to the Flip Thinking Podcast. In this podcast, you'll listen to intimate conversations between Bertolt Gunster and his guests. Together, they'll explore the guest's personal problem and try to make it feel lighter or make it disappear altogether. This can be achieved in different ways. Sometimes they can simply solve the problem, but more often than not, they'll find that they have to let go of expectations or views they hold about themselves. At other times, they can only observe the fact that there is a problem without judging it. And in some cases, they can flip think the problem.
Okay, good to have you here. What's your name? Can you tell me something about you?
My name is Tess. I'm 32. I'm recently married. I've got a dog, Yuka. I've got a podcast as well.
Okay, about what?
Sustainability. It's called Tess to Sustainability, but it's in Dutch.
Okay.
And I work at an NGO as program manager, Circular Society.
Okay. Well, this is about who you are, but what are you here for? What's your problem? Your dilemma or whatever?
So I struggle with eating sounds, and not only mine.
Oh my God.
Mine is a bit okay, but mostly eating sounds of everyone else or everyone around me for as long as I can remember.
Oh, that's really a disaster, isn't it? Because you're confronted with
continuously. Yes, it's horrible.
I'm getting shy. I'm afraid to drink. Do you have problems with people drinking too?
It depends the kind of noise you make when you do it. But and it's also noises, not really when you eat, but smacking noises in general. So it's horrible. It just makes me so. I'm a very happy person, I like to think. But whenever I hear such a sound, there's this anger inside of me. It's horrible. It's honestly really, really terrible.
Do you have it with your man, your husband?
Yes. Poor thing. Yes, everyone. My parents, everyone.
Do you have it with yourself?
Sometimes. So when you've got this very soft, squishy pear and it's, it's slopping noises when you eat it, I just get disgusted by myself. Yeah, that was nice. Thank you.
I feel challenged to make your life a hell by making sounds, but I will try to suppress this tendency.
This is the horrible part, because it's my problem, but people feel, when I tell them or they notice, they feel very self-conscious.
Yeah, me too.
And
so you don't have a problem for yourself, but you create a lot of problems for your surroundings, right?
Well, mostly for me, but I feel guilty as well for others. But yeah,
but mostly for yourself.
For mostly myself.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my God, there's a name for this, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't there?
Misophonie, maybe translated.
Misophonia or something like that.
Yes, something like that.
But it's a psychiatric disease, or what? How should? So I presume you know more about this than I do.
Well, I'm very happy that only since a couple of years there's actually a name for it. Yeah. Because normally people said, Tess, you're overreacting, and
you're
now
crazy.
It's like there's proof. People, it's not just me. There's actual proof.
You have a disease. It has a name.
I
and it
often
cannot
say
be cured.
that as well.
It cannot be cured, can it?
Well, I've been Googling, of course, what can I do? I've tried everything, like the meditations,
slow down. What attempts did you undertake to conquer this villain?
I tried different paths. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just because it's an anger inside of me. Maybe I just need to breathe and meditation. Whenever someone's eating, no, Tess, don't react. Go, be zen, be calm.
Because the anger is the really emotional side of the problem, right? The emotional
really
aspect of the problem.
Yeah,
anger.
It's such a trigger. I feel an internal anger, and if I would let it out, I would throw, I would hit, I would do everything, because it's horrible. It's horrible.
Okay, back to your attempt. So you tried meditation.
Exposure.
And it worked, right? No, it didn't work.
No, not at all.
Exposure therapy?
Yeah. So I just, for example, I was traveling through Asia.
By the way, for those listening to the podcast, exposure therapy implies that when you fear of being in the city on open spaces, you expose yourself to open spaces, and then the fear will go away. When you have afraid of height, you go higher, and so this is exposure therapy. Just dive into it.
Yeah.
Put your head in the mouth of the dragon.
Just let it happen.
And then it will go away. But it doesn't go with smacking, did it?
No. So my conclusion is... Well, yeah, so I've traveled through Asia as well. And, you know...
Do they smack a lot in Asia?
Well, it's the culture, yeah.
It is.
It's part of the culture, which is... Then I was like, okay, you know, this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it's not helping.
But did you really try to be with people smacking and then expose yourself to the noise, the sound of it?
It happened. It just happens because you sit there on a tiny stool outside and people around you are eating as well.
And then you said to yourself, stay here.
It's okay. Yeah.
Let it happen.
Don't let it happen.
Expose yourself.
Yeah, it's all fine. It's part of the experience, but no, it's horrible. And so what the current situation is for example, when at work, I don't join my colleagues for lunch.
Yeah.
So I sit behind my computer, headphones on. When I'm in the train, headphones on.
Not eating pears also?
Definitely not eating pears. Cutting it.
Yeah.
You know,
pieces with a fork.
In little pieces with a fork.
Yeah.
Or when I'm at home with my husband, I make sure that he gets his food before I do, and I just wander around in the kitchen a bit longer. And then he already started a bit, and then when we eat together, I put on like either a TV or we have our iPad. And then we put something on, as in something to distract me, a show we watch together, and put it near me so it's louder on my side, very loud, so I don't hear it. And he's a very quiet eater. It's not him. It's me, but it's just...
But knowing that there is some sound over there is enough already to get annoyed?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for thinking this is funny, because it's weird. It's strange. But for you, it's not, because you've been living with this problem for all your life, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Back to what you tried. You tried being zen with it, expose yourself to it. Did you have more attempts on solving or battling with this problem?
Well, and now the noise cancelling in many attempts, but I don't know what else. So that's kind of it, I think.
Yeah, and you mentioned separation, right? By separating yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which is, of course, the most obvious way of dealing with the problem, but it's suboptimal at the least, right?
Yeah, because I think food is an experience as well. So I love good food, and especially together with my husband, going out to dinner or having great food, which I cook myself at home. It's an experience as well. So I find it very difficult that because of my condition... It's ruining the experience.
You're cautious with the word condition, right?
Yeah, well, it's self-diagnosed, so you know, there's no doctor who said, "Oh, Tess, you've got that."
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can you tell me something about the anger?
Yeah, it's how do I describe the anger? Like I said, it's an anger feeling. It's my parents, when I was younger, around like 12, and we all had dinner together with my sister and my parents. Whenever someone was eating, I was giving them, they called it the look. It's like death look. Like be quiet. Because that's what happens within me, like anger. And I just want to say, oh, stop it, shut up. But yeah, it's this uncontrolled anger, which makes me want to shout, hit anything that I don't do. Mm-hmm. But it makes me very angry.
And do you have a similar anger towards other kinds of behavior of other people? Is it this making sounds with the mouth?
Yeah, mostly.
This is mostly? Is there something more? Can you get annoyed for other sounds or things too?
They don't have to eat. If they smack without food, that's horrible as well. So
it's also with the mouth?
It's also with the mouth.
Yeah?
I do get a little annoyed when, when you shove the food in your face, like very quickly eating. But that's not the same kind of anger. It's just like behavior that I think is...
Yeah, I think I have this anger too.
Yeah, so I think that's...
People can behave, so this is not... you can avoid this problem, right?
Exactly. So that's not really the thing. And the funny thing is, maybe that's good to mention, I don't have that anger when for example, my dog makes that noise.
Aha.
And I used to have a horse. He died last year, but he...
a horse.
Yeah, a horse. But we had to remove some of his teeth, and that means he was smacking all the time. And that didn't bother me. I thought it was adorable. This is crazy, right? So,
this is interesting.
And my dog, that's cute, but...
when he makes these sounds, that's fine too.
Yeah. And the other thing, because I'm a podcaster and I edit my own podcast, when I have a guest who was very close to the mic and spitting, it's the most horrible hour of half an hour of editing.
Because
all
every
the time
you're
I hear
confronted
it
with this sound.
Continuously, yeah.
But you don't have with horses, at least one horse, right?
Yeah.
And dog. Do you have it with babies?
Well, I haven't been in touch or near
you haven't
a baby.
exposed yourself to smacking babies.
No.
And with older people with dementia or Alzheimer, or older people?
Yeah, I've been exposed to that. Don't like that either. And honestly, now when you mention it, I have been around babies, but there's in like restaurants. Yeah, that bothers me too.
Oh, that's a pity.
Yeah,
now I'm losing a little bit hope here.
Yeah, no.
I got a little bit hope, and
I remember the bit.
And do you have so when there's a baby smacking, right, in an annoying way?
Yes.
The most annoying way you can imagine. Do you then experience the same kind of anger?
Good question. I think little less, or at least I try. I'm not sure if it's something that I want to be less anger because, it's a baby, he or she can't help it, it's a baby. Or that I actually do feel less anger. I don't remember or recall.
You're not sure?
Not really sure.
So then another question to tackle my underlying assumption. How much of the anger has to do with the fact that you don't feel seen or heard by the people smacking?
Oh, wow. Did not see that one coming.
Yeah.
Do I feel heard or seen by the people who are smacking?
Yeah. So they smack.
Yes.
This annoys you.
Yes. Or even they don't smack, but I just feel that they're making sounds, even though they're not making sounds.
So my question is, do you feel not seen or not heard when people smack and you say something about it?
Well, I try not to say anything about it, so...
But then if you don't say anything about it, they cannot do anything about it, and then you are not seen and heard, right?
That's good. So perhaps because I feel that I always say it, I continue to say and give them the look, and especially the people around me.
And still they don't change their behavior?
Because they can't. How can they?
But this is your logic brains.
Yeah.
Logic thinking that tells you they cannot do anything about it. But there's an emotional brain inside all of us too, an irrational belief system or whatever, maybe born in your childhood or whatever. So how often have you told the world? How many times have you told the world not to smack and still they go on and on and on? It would make me very angry. But don't they know yet? They should know it is in Asia too. You've told this so many times to the world. So when you are in Asia too, they should know. Tess is coming. Shut up, right?
Yeah.
Do you recognize? Does this anger have to do something with this hopeless feeling of it will never end?
Yeah, it is a hopeless feeling. It will never end.
And this is the core question. Then they will never see me. They will never take me into account. I'm not seen and heard. I feel hopeless, alone with this problem.
Wow, I think so, yeah. It makes sense. It does resonate with me somewhere.
On an irrational level, right?
Because and the first thing that comes to mind when you say this is actually my husband's face, because he's already very careful not to move or do anything strange while eating. I am a problem for him because I've got a problem with him.
Right, and this will make you even more powerless.
Yes.
Okay, so how is it in regard of your whole life with Tess and being seen and heard?
I think, I do like to take the spotlight, so I do put myself out there, but I'm not, it's...
But were you seen as a child? Were you bullied as a child? Did your parents, when you were afraid or sad or angry, did they embrace you? It's okay to... Did you as a child or as a young girl felt seen and heard and be acknowledged in who you are, in all your feelings? This is a very broad question, but let's try to explore this.
Yeah, a few things do come to mind. One, that I've been raised very lovingly, so I do love my parents and I do believe they have the best intentions. Mm-hmm. But if I'm very critical, I do think that sometimes the emotions, sometimes you just need to toughen up. They
said so to you. They told you toughen up.
I don't think, maybe it's not with the exact words because I don't have a real example.
Right.
But it does call up, a feeling that when I think back of that time, that
it would be better to be a strong girl.
I felt that, I have to be strong and, pick yourself up. That's what I always got a compliment on for my resilience, because whenever I got down... By the way,
for those who are listening now, compliments can be devastating. Because compliments tell you, do A, and then you are fine. but don't do B. Don't do the opposite of A. So compliments are a way of manipulating children, all with the best intentions, albeit with the best intentions, but we are not here sitting with best intentions. We're sitting here with Tess, right?
Yes.
So the message was be strong.
Yes.
And was the message then also, if you are sad, put your tears aside and go on and be a strong girl. Don't cry.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It was possible to cry. It's not like, oh, dry your tears, come on, keep going.
It was not that harsh, right?
No, it wasn't that harsh. It wasn't that black or white. But the compliment that I got, like I'm very resilient. That a power woman.
Slow down. I want to hear all your compliments you got as a child. So be resilient, be a power woman, be strong, right?
Yeah. One of the stories, which is still the story that I hear often, is when my current husband broke up with me.
He did?
Yeah, we broke. I know him since I was 15, so it's
since
okay.
Since 15?
Yes.
Okay.
Big love. But we broke up twice, and the second time he broke up with me. And then the story goes that I laid in bed for 2 days, cried my eyes out. My parents were desperate, like, oh, what to do with her. And then I walked down and said, okay, I'm done. And I picked myself up and did everything. I was strong. And that's the story that we still hear every year at Christmas.
And why is this story so important, you think? So
because it showed my resilience, and that's something I'm always proud of. Like whenever it brings me down, I know a way to pick myself up again. And my husband told me sometimes it's okay to just be with your emotions, and if you're down, just accept it. But I think that is a story that is still in my head.
So if you encounter difficulties or problems,
yes,
is it then for you allowed to sit down, feel defeated, not know what to do?
Not really. No, not really.
For a time, right? Because you are resilient, you're strong, and you'll carry on, and you overcome this feeling of desperation.
Yeah, so it does bring to mind one thing. So when I turned 30, I had my 30 dilemma, and I thought, like, okay, what I'm going to do with my life? It's sort of quarter-life crisis, you can call it. But instead of crying my eyes out, I sent everyone an Excel sheet saying, okay, what am I good at? What do you see myself doing? I tried to figure out like what to do and make it, concrete, like an direct action.
You want to go on.
Yes.
And carry on in life and have a goal and know what to do and have a kind of direction, focus, ambition.
Yep.
Be strong.
Be strong.
Not be desperate.
No.
What are you thinking now?
How is this going to help me with the eating?
I have an assumption, but this is very maybe too simple. But just try it. Let's try. I have this assumption that your anger is a healthy anger. So anger is I love emotions. And the more podcast episodes I have produced, the more I love emotions and embrace them as sources of information. So for me, emotion equals information. So when you say this makes you furious, then I say, in me, there's a voice, hooray, information. Whereas I experience our culture, humankind, very hostile against emotions, anger, be calm. Crying, dry your tears, and just talk normal when you are being desperate. Get yourself together, make a plan, send everybody an Excel sheet, and go to the future. So emotions are things that we experience as enemies, and they have to be controlled. So I love your anger.
Wow. Okay.
I think it's funny. I think it's intriguing, and I think it's intelligent. I think it's containing information. Only I don't know yet what kind of information. This was what I was looking for. So when I tell you emotions equal information, can you elaborate a little bit with me on this idea?
As in, emotions contain information.
Yeah. Your anger.
Yes.
And it's not little. It's you're furious, right?
Yes.
So when I see you talk, and you're trying to be gentle with this, but I can feel this anger, right? There's anger.
Yes.
Not a little bit, but it's furious anger, right?
Yes.
So what information is there?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what this anger is telling me because...
Okay, then another question.
Yeah.
Then another question. Imagine, I don't know if this will help you, but let's try. I feel a little bit insecure with your problem. So I need you to think with me along, right?
I will try, yes.
Thank you. So imagine you still have this anger about hearing these sounds when people smack, but you are okay with the anger. Would this influence the problem?
I don't think so. I don't know how it would...
You are sitting. I help you. You are sitting next to your husband.
Yes.
He's not exaggerating. He's eating normally, and then you feel angry, right?
Yes.
Could you imagine to feel angry and make fun of it at the same time?
I hope so.
Have you ever tried this?
Well, I can say yes, I've tried it, but did it with full conviction? I'm not sure because I've heard this method, from your previous podcast, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to laugh about it or something like that. It's stupid that I'm so annoyed by this.
Oh, yeah, no, this is not. This is not laughing and in the same time have a judgment that it is stupid. This is not what I would suggest. I would suggest that when you feel the anger, that you in the same time intellectually think, this is a funny, intriguing moment. This is interesting. Out of curiosity, right?
And
what's
then,
happening here?
And then telling what the anger is telling me.
No, maybe that could be the second step. But at first, just embrace the anger as something. The anger won't kill you, right?
No, it will make me an unpleasant person.
It could if you express your anger. But if you just observe your anger and be with your anger and don't express it, then nobody gets hurt. The only one that's suffering, between brackets, at that moment is yourself.
Yes.
Now, what if in this moment you would label this anger as intriguing, interesting? Tess is angry. Interesting.
Yeah.
So be at ease with the anger.
Like it is what it is. And
it is what it is, and it's intriguing. It's not stupid.
Interesting.
Let's put this on hold. Next question. Do you have a judgment on yourself when you are angry?
Yes.
This is a solid yes.
Yes, of course. And
so what do you tell yourself being angry?
Mostly, what are you angry for? This is stupid. Don't be so judgmental. There's no reason. I think it's twofold. I think one is the fact that I don't like being angry. It's not an emotion that I love to have because I like to feel positive, energized, the good flow. Mm-hmm. Anger is not an emotion that serves me, I feel. That sounds like that I'm not that kind of person, but it does. I feel that.
Yeah.
And the second is a piece of guilt towards the person that I'm feeling angry at because he or she is not doing anything. Yeah. In most cases, sometimes it is the case.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Don't check me. I'm doing my best. I'm not smacking now. Yeah. So you have a judgment when you are angry that you are in a way stupid.
Yeah.
Is this the best word?
No, I don't think stupid is the right word.
Okay, help me. What would be a better word?
I think a right...
Naive, childish. I'll help you with some words.
It helps. I do prefer the compliments, but this helps. Childish maybe. Very judgmental. Whiners, of course.
Whiner.
Like what are you whining about?
Being angry about nothing, then you really are.
Yeah.
Fill in the sentence.
Dramatic, maybe.
Dramatic.
But I feel that like a whiner is hitting me harder. Yeah.
Which I thought in the first place when you started talking about your problem, I thought, well, this is so completely unnecessary. Then you really are
a whiner.
Yeah. This feels a little bit uncomfortable, does it?
Very. Very.
This is a solid yes. Yeah. So you have three problems. First, people smack, which is a problem in itself.
I think we'll be sitting here for a long time with all my problems.
Yeah, we will be. And there's no hope anymore. No. But to summarize where we are now, we have three problems. First, people smack, which is a problem in itself. For most people, this is a relatively small problem, but it is a problem. And it is for you a bigger problem. But it is a problem. People do smack. Dogs and horses smack too, but that's fine. And babies probably, we don't know. Older people, Alzheimer's, we don't know. But people do smack problem. Then you get anger, which is a problem because being anger is not that nice state of being, and then you have the risk that you will offend people, distance yourself from other people. It's socially uncomfortable. Anger is unnecessary, not hopeful, and then there's this third problem that you have the judgment on yourself, being childish or whiner when you are angry.
Yes,
and this is something you don't want to think about yourself.
No. I don't want to acknowledge, no.
Nobody wants to think being a whiner. So this is something we can do something about, such a negative self-image, Because this is something you think. And you can think something, but you can also let go of a thought.
I hope so.
Me too. But when I look at the system, this last judgment, this third problem, so to say, this tells you day in, day out, be normal, behave. Don't get irritated by such a small problem. And then you try to suppress your anger. But the more you suppress it, the more it will shout because it wants to be heard. I don't know what exactly and how this works, but something in you just wants to be heard. And it's anger, that's the emotion that tells you so. I don't know how this works. Maybe we can investigate this a little bit later. But I do know that this self-image doesn't help, this negative self-image.
No.
Don't you feel sad thinking this way about yourself?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
If you were your own daughter, would you condemn yourself in the same way?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but would you tell yourself, feeling this anger?
That it's okay, that it doesn't make you a bad person. Because I want to be the kind one, the social one, the friendly one, the one that connects. But you can still be that person and be angry sometimes.
We do a kind of internal dialogue. Yeah. I would say as a daughter, but my anger is so much, it's so big, it's overwhelming me, it's too much. I feel so stupid, help me. But then you would answer,
that's okay. Yeah. Or, yeah,
let it out. Anger is fun. Nothing wrong with anger. As long as you don't kill people.
Yeah. But how do you let it out then?
By shouting.
That sounds like a fun dinner date.
Yeah, with your friend, husband, man, spouse. If you include him in your search, I think he won't mind. But it's not exactly about what you express. It's what you allow yourself to feel. Your feelings don't have to get out of the system to be allowed to be there. You know, feelings are like clouds, they come and go. So if you allow yourself to be angry and not expressing this to nobody, just feeling it and allowing yourself to feel this, then it comes and it goes. You cannot maintain angry for 2-3 hours. No, you won't manage.
No. Neither would the dinner, but
no.
Yeah.
But maybe a very long dinner. My point is, I don't challenge you to express your anger, but to allow your anger, which is something different.
So to acknowledge, just to recognize it and acknowledge.
Give it a name. I'm angry. I love myself with my anger. Anger is obviously a part of me. I don't know how it works exactly, but it's okay. I'm not childish. I just feel anger.
Okay. I can work with that.
Okay.
I think.
And do you think you can let go of the condemnation of yourself being a whining person that I have this stupid problem? That's deep. There's a lot of hesitation here, right?
I think that one, that I feel that one.
There's a lot of possible freedom there.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think so too. Because I feel that I can do it with the acknowledgement and, labeling the anger, a bit of the meditation side. But the fact of being a whiner, that self-image, that hits me harder, I feel.
Yeah, and it is my assumption that trying to get away from being a whiner, trying to behave adult-like, makes the problem worse.
Yeah.
Because you are suppressing the anger and you condemn yourself being angry.
Yeah.
And you can let go of this. This is what you can let go of.
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, there's a little sigh there. Do you feel a bit lighter now in this moment? How do you feel now during this conversation where we are now?
Yeah, lighter. Definitely lighter.
Yeah.
Yes. I had this word somewhere. Coincidentally, I talked about with my husband recently, and after hearing one of your podcasts, I said, "Yeah, what words do I feel the most?" And then whiner was one of the words, and I said, "Oh yeah, I really feel that one." And now, when I hear it in this scenario, that one does hit me most.
Yeah. Just to check if we are right. As a child, when you were 7, 8, 9 years old, and annoyed by smacking sounds. Did you, at that time as a child, also feel I'm a whiner?
Yes.
Ooh, this is a definite yes.
Yeah. Because I remember that same feeling as what I have now as well. Like, I don't want to whine
Grow
about
up,
this.
Be an adult.
Yeah, it's
nothing
just
wrong.
Eating.
People eat.
Exactly. It's sometimes the things like, but people eat like this. I eat normally. Those were the responses that I got. So, then you feel like a whiner.
My assumption is that when you as a child got annoyed by these sounds and felt angry, that the problem for you at that time was not that you were annoyed by smacking sounds, but that you were not recognized in your anger.
I think so, yeah. I definitely think that.
And so the anger became stronger.
Yes.
And so the anger told you, but I am annoyed. I want to be seen being annoyed.
Yeah.
And they don't acknowledge you because having problems with smacking people is a strange problem, which makes you even more angry.
Yeah.
And again, it will not be acknowledged because you are just stupid.
Yeah. And that's why it felt as a relief that there was this article online saying it has a name now.
Yeah.
So
now you are allowed to be angry.
Yeah. I still have it, but it does I've got a disease now. So
yeah. I won't call it a disease. I won't call it a funny handicap, which you haven't totally explored yet. But it is my assumption that maybe 70-80% of the anger is not the direct anger of being annoyed by the smacking, but being not acknowledged for being angry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which you have adapted in yourself by creating this self-image of a whining girl.
Wow, this is fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this is cool.
It feels like bullseye in a way.
Yes.
May I say so?
Yes, definitely. I had no idea where this conversation would go, what the end result would be, because I was definitely.
Yeah. So this is kind of informational moment for me that we are on the same page.
Yeah. No, it definitely feels good.
I feel relieved. Yeah. Do you feel relieved too?
I want to say you're sighing, so it's a relief. But I feel that too, definitely.
It's funny. It's intriguing. It's just life to be angry.
I'm ready to go back to Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And try to be even as angry as you were. But I think the anger will get a little bit smaller. But try to keep this anger. Love the anger. Yeah. I think we are at the end of this podcast conversation. Do you have the same feeling?
Definitely.
Do you have some final words?
Did you enjoy this episode?
Oh, I did, yeah. Really? Of course, you said stumbling forward. For me, this is a challenge because it's not my native tongue. So I feel a little bit handicapped. But the topic and the way you talk about it and who you are. I really love having you here and having this stupid problem and then trying to manage it and suppressing it. And I have a good feeling about this conversation. So, for me, it was very, very good, very fine.
Thank you very much. Compliments for your English.
Thank you very much.
I expected the worst based on our conversation beforehand. So this was really good. And thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for being here.
Do you want to flip think your own problem too? In Bertolt Gunster's bestseller Flip Thinking, you will learn all about the life-changing art of turning problems into opportunities. Flip Thinking is available in England, Italy, Portugal, South Korea, United States, and soon in 17 other countries too. For info, check out flipthinking.info.